Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today, we go racing at Kansas Speedway in the Cup Series after a bit of a rough stretch of races at DNF last episode, as well as a rough finish in Phoenix. But first, we have the NASCAR Legend Series as well as the Xfinity Series to deal with now. As we come through into the Legend Series here at Drebin, we started towards the back of the field. My dirt record has not been good, as you guys can probably tell based off of what we did last season and this season as well. It has been very subpar performance. So didn't really know what to expect coming into this one here. As you can see me ripping the top right off the bat. Felt the most comfortable up here. I tried to run the bottom a few times. It just definitely didn't feel good to me. So you're gonna see me up here for the majority of this race. But it was Travis Brown, aka Moonhead, running up at the front at this early portion of this event. Now as I get past the 24 of Jeff Gordon, and as we came through a little bit later now to lap 3, I was 4 wide actually here with Dale Jr., Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, as well as I do make the inside work a little bit here now, as it just definitely didn't feel that great though. So I moved right back up to the top now as I actually got into the back of Michael Cozy Jr. there on lap 6, pushed him out of the way now as we were now up inside of the top 10, but it was Moonhead just driving away now as I get into the back of Antonio Williams' car there of Lation behind the wheel on lap 8 of 13. So just struggling to really get anywhere at this point, but then I make a nice little move there up the inside of Casey Kane there, and sure enough up back into the top 10, running P8 here as we come through turns 1 and turns 2, passing Tony Stewart as well. So we cut straight through though to the final lap of this race. We worked our way up into the 5th position, but no one had anything for Travis Brown, aka Moonhead, out of turns 4. He was going to come through to pick up his first win on the season in the second race of the season, as we come through to finish a pretty strong top 5 here in Drebin, which caught me a bit off guard based off of where I qualified and just kind of how I felt going into this race. I was hoping for like a top 15, and obviously we exceeded my own expectations here now as we come through into the Xfinity Series. Paul Menard, of course, behind the wheel as usual here as we get ready to go green at Bristol Motor Speedway for this one. And Paul started inside the top 10, so things were already looking pretty good here on row number 3 in that 6th spot as it came through at a turn 2 side by side with that 39 of Ryan Sieg. But it was Kimi Räikkönen up front. Räikkönen has been very strong in his NASCAR adventure so far, but has come up just short of a win a couple times now. Had a chance to win last episode in Texas, but some late drama on that last lap allowed our driver here for Going Racing and Paul Menard to actually be able to steal that victory away from Kimi Räikkönen after going from like 5th or 6th to 1st in one set of corners on that last lap. But Paul was making this inside line work here. He was gaining time, looking very strong. He got to the back of the 20 of Chris Buescher and would be able to pass him in no time whatsoever. Actually pulled off a slide job on him just about as it came through out of turns 4, and sure enough moves up into the runner-up spot. And then now, by the time they came through approaching the final lap in Bristol, Menard has gotten to the back of Kimi Räikkönen out of turns 4. It's going to be a side-by-side battle here for the win as Paul takes the top, Räikkönen takes the bottom through 1 out of turns 2. Paul fights back there down the back straightaway side-by-side into 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be a drag race to the line out of turns 4, and here they come. It's going to be Kimi Räikkönen just barely, and that gets him his first NASCAR Series win. You can see the margin of victory there, a very close finish between Menard and Kimi Räikkönen. Now as you look at the rest of the finishing order on your screen here on the Cheddar's 300, down towards the bottom you got Mike Harmon as well as Roman Grosjean. Had a very rough race here in Bristol down there in P35, but he's already won. He is locked into the playoffs. Nothing to worry about for Grosjean as we come through into the Cup Series. Look at the paint scheme we got on the car today with the Razor scheme. This was made by Lation. We've run this scheme before, but he made a few minor changes, added a little bit of a green gradient to the bottom of the car. It looks beautiful. Love this paint scheme. We ran this back in the Pocono doubleheader back in our first season, I think, in the 24 car. So it's been quite some time, quite a few months since we have driven this paint scheme, but it looks great on track. Very excited to have this one running now as we came through out of turns 4 in Kansas. The goal was a 30.929 in qualifying. We crossed the line and hit a 30.932, so barely missed out on the goal, but we qualified P11 here for the Hollywood Casino 400. So I was very happy with the qualifying effort. Couldn't really complain about that. Now as you see Christian Eckes, the Red Bull, on pole, McLaren duo of Elliott and Eric Jones there in P2, P3, and then their teammate of Sam Mayer down there in P15 as we look through the rest of the order. Blaney down there in P21. Unfortunately, he won at Bristol. Definitely needs to pick it up, though, if he wants to be a consistent contender now, as Kyle Busch is all the way down in P31. Ty Gibbs down in P38 here in Kansas. All right, boys, I mean, it's been a tough couple weeks here lately with Phoenix and the last one going the way it did there in Gateway, so I don't see why we can't come back out and have a good run, though, today, so let's go have a good one. There you hear myself on the radio getting ready to take the green flag here from the Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas Speedway. There you see right there. Joey Logano, of course, still a rival of ours. Max Gutierrez in the 43 had an engine change there for RPM. He is sent to the back along with Tony Bradinger, who failed optical scanning station multiple times here now as we get ready to take the green flag on the inside from this 11th starting position. Kansas Speedway, a track where we've been successful at in the past. Now we've never really been able to win here, but now the green flag is out and we are underway with this Razor paint scheme on the car right behind the number 41 of Brad Keselowski. If you guys have been paying attention to just overall how the season has been going, you've noticed that with the R&D situation, a lot of top previous teams have really fallen off, and in specific, you look at a team like Joe Gibbs Racing, they have really been just about non-existent other than Harrison Burton this season. Kyle Busch has been way off. Ty Gibbs has been unbelievably far off, and then you got Rajat Caruth. He's probably been the second best driver right behind Harrison so far for that Joe Gibbs Racing team, so a lot of work to do for them, as well as Stewart Haas Racing has a lot of work to do if they want to be a playoff contending team. They've been kind of on the downfall. Last season they struggled, and this season they're struggling even more now as we came through, though, out of turn 2, passing the 41 of Keselowski, 3 wide in the middle for a brief moment between Sam Mayer and the McLaren and the 21 of Anthony Alfredo. Another team that's been kind of struggling is Penske Racing. Logano has been really good, but you see right there we passed the number 12 of Briscoe. He's been a little bit off as well. He's now been fully winless for a full season so far here as we look up the inside of Derek Kraus down this front straightaway down towards turns 1 with 17 laps to go here in this first and opening stage. So you see up ahead, though, you got Eric Jones leading the way for McLaren, and then I got up to the top finally here now on lap 5. We were starting to make some headway. We got to the outside of our rival of Joey Logano out of turns 4, and it was a pretty straightforward, easy pass for him now as we move up into P7, and we would just continue moving forwards. Now Harrison Burton, though, he was showing some speed on lap 7. He had run all of us down and looked up my inside. I unfortunately had no chance to make a pass right here because you guys know I like to run the top, but when there's 3 cars running the same line directly in front of you, it gets so hard to pass. I tried to make a pass on the inside here in turns 1 and 2. Didn't work. I slid up the track, had nothing for Eckes. I had to pull back in behind him for the time being. So Chase Elliott now out in front, though. He passed his teammate of Eric Jones. Jones last episode DNF'd after blowing a tire at Gateway. That was very unfortunate for him. We DNF'd, of course, as well. And as you can tell, we have replay cameras today. So no DNF today from Kansas Speedway. I think that's only the second time in our Cup Series career, in the Heat 5 career mode at least, that we actually have DNFs. So now as we came through, though, to lap 10 laps to go in stage 1, you can just see how fast we were on this outside line. I actually get aggressive here, make it 3 wide with Kyle Larson and Sam Mayer. You got the AlphaTauri driver of Brandon Jones on the top there as we go down towards turns 1, and we're making some good ground now as I'm very confident in my car at this point. I decided to just sail it off in there, slide up in front of Brandon Jones. I give up 1 position, but we made up, 2 in the kind of pass there to make that happen. So now to lap 12, we're battling it out with Sam Mayer for 4th, as well as Bubba Wallace, who's gotten up into the mix. I believe last time we came to Kansas in the playoffs, Bubba Wallace won that race. Now is actually our Gordon Henrdrick teammate of Alex Bowman goes spinning into turns 1. That's going to be a big incident right there. The 16 gets him of Justin Haley, got a little bit airborne. Gregson and Byron gets a piece of it. The caution comes out. Very unfortunate for a teammate of Alex Bowman right there now, as that's going to force everybody into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires as Bubba Wallace moves up to P3 on the pit lane after overtaking Harrison Burton. So we are still now on row number 3. It's a McLaren front row. McLaren yet to pick up a win this season still. So Kyle Larson won last episode in Gateway after we had DNF'd. He was running, I think, 2nd place at the time of my incident, if I remember correctly, and I was a bit surprised to see that after it simmed the rest of the race, they got him as the winner, because McLaren, especially Sam Mayer, was looking really strong now as he came through at a turn 2. But like I said, very surprising that they have yet to win. But Gordon Henrdrick right now, way better than what it was showing in the preseason. We've gotten, 5 wins as a team, or 6 wins as a team, sorry, because Larson's won 3, we've won 2, and then Ryan Blaney's won 1 now as we get aggressive on this restart, though, making it to the outside of Eric Jones in that McLaren Chevrolet Camaro. We take a 3-wide with him and his teammate of Sam Mayer, and I feel like at this rate, it's going to be a season-long battle between at least myself as well as Kyle Larson and those 3 McLarens. They are just unbelievably fast, and I don't see any possible way at this point how we're going to beat these guys in the regular season standings, especially the 9 car of Chase Elliott now, who was under attack from Bubba Wallace, with 3 laps to go in stage 1. So Harrison Burton up there in the mix. Burton putting on a good performance now. Last season was a bit disappointing for him. He made the Final 4 in his first season with JGR, won a bunch of races, I think won 5 or 6 races. Of course, came up just short for the championship because that's the same day we won our first Cup Series championship. And then last season, he only won a couple races, so he was a bit off last season. This season, winless so far, but he took the lead by the time it came through to this final lap of stage 1, down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. It's Burton, Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones, myself, your top 5, Zane Smith up into P6. We've been seeing some good runs lately out of him for RCR here as we go down this front straightaway to cross the line. A pretty strong stage 1 effort here of P5. I was pretty satisfied with that personally. Definitely think we have a car capable of contending today, but it all depends on how that 19 of Harrison Burton was, because he got to the lead there and was looking really, really good. So we'll have to wait and see what happens now, as this is going to bring everybody into the pit lane once again at the end of stage 1. We're going to take 2 cans of fuel, 4 fresh tires. I decided to make some adjustments on the pit lane. The car still wasn't quite to my liking. I thought there was still some more that we could find to get it better now. So you saw me make some tire pressure adjustments everywhere there, left sides as well as the right sides, as you look at the rest of the order. Timmy Hill a lap down now. Austin Cindric has DNF'd, and now Bubba Wallace loses 1 spot on the pit stop to Eric Jones after gaining 1 spot on that last pit stop. Now as we get ready for the start of stage 2 from Kansas Speedway, which is now underway, and now in stage 2 here from Kansas, it is time to get amped. There you have the AMP segment here from Kansas Speedway. Harrison Burton looking very strong. You got the AlphaTauri of Brandon Jones up the inside right there of Chase Elliott as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2. But Kyle Larson just behind us there in that 6th position. 3 wins on the season for him. Last season, he went winless completely. So a huge step up with this Gordon Henrdrick team this season. The Jeff Gordon ownership has really just kind of transcended this team, it feels like, now as we get to the outside of that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet. And I think Elliott honestly made a great choice still going to McLaren, because we may have more wins now. As actually I get in the wall through turns 3 and 4 on lap 4, and that completely wipes the progress that we had made in stage 1. And now we jump down to P9, maybe even P10 as Lewis Hamilton comes through. But as I was mentioning, although Gordon Henrdrick has more wins, I think McLaren is just downright stronger. And I think Chase Elliott, although he hasn't won yet, has made a tremendous decision to go to that team now as we come through out of turns 2. And now we were trying to rally our way back forwards after being stupid and hitting that wall. And now we got past Sam Mayer, who seems to be a little bit off today as well. We're going to look to the outside of Lewis Hamilton, who continues his impressive run of ovals this season. And of course ran strong at Sonoma Raceway earlier this season at the road course. And we have some more road course racing coming up here shortly at Road America. So going to be interesting to see how Lewis is he's able to do there. I really want to see him get to victory lane in the final season of this NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. And by the way he's running, I can very well see him winning, and not even necessarily on a road course, but I think he could be a legitimate contender when it comes to an oval as well for potential victory. Now, as we would get past Sam Mayer just about down this back straightaway, we now had the draft picked up there from that 5 of Kyle Larson, who was running just behind the trackhouse driver of Ross Chastain. Very cool to see Chastain's improvements as well. He was in the 47 car for JTG last season, and he basically just ran 35th all season long and jumps into this trackhouse car and has been a top 10 contender race after race now, as we were side by side with our Gordon Henrdrick teammate of Kyle Larson. We get past him down the back straightaway, now looking to the outside of Chastain with 2 laps to go. It took me right till this point to even get an opportunity to move to his outside now, as Harrison Burton was checked right out of turns 4 down this front straightaway to start the final lap in stage 2, as it's going to be a side-by-side battle between myself and that 99 car of Ross Chastain here as we go down this front straightaway into turns 1. Kyle Larson kind of fading in the background here as we come through turns 1 and 2. Up ahead you can see the AlphaTauri of Brandon Jones going at it with Eric Jones in the McLaren side by side as well now, as we're going to see who comes out on top of that one for 5th and 6th through turns 3 and 4 for the final time, though Harrison Burton cannot be stopped here in stage 2. A huge gap between him and second place. Burton wins stage 2. We go down this front straightaway. We were able to get clear of Chastain, and we crossed the line to finish 7th, which I felt like was a pretty decent recovery considering where we were earlier in the stage after hitting the wall outside of the top 10, only by 1 spot. But of course, a great recovery nonetheless. The right rear tire got a little bit close there to blowing out. It was 5% on the right rear, 11% on the right front. So of course, we're going to come into the pit lane here for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires. And I was thinking about making some potential adjustments once again here, as you see the rest of the order on your screen. But I was looking at the left side tire pressures, and I moved those up a little bit. I put them down last pit stop. Now I'm moving back up to where they were. And then I move up those right side tire pressures as well, just looking for that little bit more here for this 3rd and final stage, which is now underway here from Kansas Speedway. Zane Smith, again, having a really good run up there in that 3rd position. Maybe you'll keep an eye on him now. He's been really picking it up lately. And that RCR team as a whole has been doing good, other than, of course, Austin Dillon. He's been basically non-existent this season now as we come through turns 1 and 2 up the inside of that 23 of Bubba Wallace now, as we have a chance right there to slip up in between the hole between Bubba as well as Eric Jones. We take it because we know we want to be on the top as soon as possible, so you have to take any opportunity you can get. So I took that opportunity, and now we're going to carry this momentum around the outside of the 23 on the exit of turns 4, and down this front straightaway we have entered the top 5 here as we came through to complete this first and opening lap of this 3rd and final stage. Zane Smith putting some pressure on the back of the 19 of Harrison Burton now, as I'm looking to potentially make it 3 wide with Chase Elliott as well as Brandon Jones, but not going to happen right there. Elliott stays clear, so down the back straightaway I give him a nice push down into turns 3. I think we both moved on from the Phoenix incident at this point now, where we came together. We got a little bit of contact with him at Gateway there, where I just decided to shove him out of the way, but I think we both finally gotten over that, and hopefully we can continue on in the right direction here and battle it out for a championship, because I think we're going to be having to beat Chase Elliott if we want to win the championship this season now as we come through, though. Turns 1 out of turns 2, Burton side by side now for the lead with Zane Smith, as we're about to be 3 wide with Jones and Bubba Wallace as we go off into turns 3. But what a drive from the RCR driver of Zane Smith. He drove for McLaren way back in the day of this career mode, didn't find much success while his teammate of Eric Jones was having success, and eventually ended up moving over to RCR, where he's been pretty subpar, but has been having some good runs this season. So now out of turns 4 on lap 46, Smith still leading the way, but the caution actually comes out with 22 laps to go, and I'm looking through. No one's coming into the pit lane, so I decided to stay out as well here, because I didn't want to give up the track position, and I didn't know if we pit now, if we could make it to the end or not. It was pretty close, but I actually do think we could potentially make it if we pitted now, but I elected to stay out anyways with the rest of the field. So back on the inside here in P5, right behind that 19 of Harrison Burton, Smith and Elliott on row number 1 as the green flag is back out, and once again we are underway, and now only 18 laps remain in this race here from the Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas Speedway. So we know we have a top 5 car today. This is probably the best Kansas car I've ever had in terms of just downright competitiveness, so I was very happy with how it was driving now as we were up the inside of Elliott on the exit exit of turn 2. He gets clear already, so we're side by side with that 2311 DoorDash car driven by Bubba Wallace. Into turns 3, though, we have an opportunity right there, but it's not going to happen now, as we can just not get this car to rotate on the inside very well. So I really push up on the exit, but into turns 1 now on lap 51, I sailed it off in there, drive up to the outside. Unfortunately, I made a mistake right there and left the door completely open, and that allowed the 99 of Chastain to get to the inside, and even Bubba Wallace as we go down into turns 3. So I messed up with that, trying my best to get clear of them both. We got clear for a few seconds and then left that door wide open. So now side by side again with a Bubba here as we came through to lap 52, though. Chastain on the outside now. I make a move to his inside on the exit of turns 4, not really wanting to wait around for him. So now using that draft from Bubba down this front straightaway, we are going to easily clear the 99 of Chastain into turns 1. So I move back up to the top now, as up front on lap 57, approaching just 10 laps to go. It was a battle between Chase Elliott in the McLaren and Harrison Burton in that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Zane Smith kind of fading down to P3. Now later on lap 58 through turns 3 and 4, I get up into the outside wall, and now we make that big mistake. Fortunately, we do not really get into the wall too hard, so we don't lose a lot of time, but obviously we did give up some time. So now we would have to run down Bubba and Zane Smith again, but on lap 60, we have to make a green flag pit stop. I decide we're going to come in about 2 laps or so earlier than the field. A very easy call here. The AI obviously are going to take no tires and splash of fuel, so that was what we did. We come in for just half a can of fuel, which will be enough to get us to the end of this race here. Now 3.1 second pit stop. We exit the pit lane. We're going to go 1 lap down for the time being, but we would exit here down the back straightaway, and I was feeling pretty confident, and hopefully we'll gain some time by pitting a little bit earlier, not around other traffic. So you can already see a couple guys are getting ready to come in right here, including Chastain, the AlphaTauri of Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton in the 19, who was battling for the lead with Chase Elliott. So this cycle was making its run through now with 6 laps to go, even 5 laps to go actually for us in this race, due to us being a lap down temporarily. So closing in on the final moments. Our right rear tire, we have to watch out for that as well. It is wearing quite quick, so I actually backed my pace down to make sure we don't destroy our right rear tire, which is only at 9% coming to the final 3 or 4 laps or so. So now running behind Harrison Burton, who cycled out in front of me, we come through to cross the line. The caution comes out with 4 laps to go, and you can see the effect it has with the timing. Elliott still leading, but there was all those cars in front of us on the pit lane that when the caution came out, the field freezes us in P21, setting up for an overtime restart, and unfortunately that completely messes us over now as we gain 3 spots and move up at least to P18. Definitely aggravated with that. That's the 3rd episode in a row where something seems to go wrong now. And now, with 2 laps to go, I still don't know about that right rear tire. And I was right on what the AI were going to do on the pit lane. They took no tires. It looks like Suarez had an issue there behind us. He was involved in that incident potentially. But you saw on that right rear tire, there was only 6% on that right rear tire. We can only use up 3% here on this first lap. We need at least 3% on that right rear tire by the time we come through to start the final lap. Otherwise, we are in big trouble. Now as we go down this back straightaway, you can just see how much more speed we have versus these guys here throughout this mid pack. So down to 4% on that right rear. Coming to the final lap, Chase Elliott leads the way, looking for his first win in over 2 seasons. It was at 3% on that right rear as we started the final lap. So we did our job on the opening lap, but now white flag in the air down into turns 1 and 2. Bubba Wallace side by side with Chase Elliott for the lead now as we come through out of turns 2. Elliott, though, he's going to have the momentum down the back straightaway as the right rear tire blows out down the back straightaway into the side of Keselowski. We go spinning, and so does the 41 hard into the outside wall, and that's going to bring out the caution. Elliott was leading by a nose over Bubba Wallace, and the race comes to a close. Chase Elliott breaks his 2-season winless streak for McLaren as he picks up the win and is locked into the playoffs, and our right rear tire gives out half a lap early now, and what a disappointing finish that was. P22 is what we get credited with because the caution came out at the time when we were only in 20 seconds, so we kind of got saved right there. Otherwise we would have been down like 37th, 38th place. But that's 3 races in a row now where we haven't finished in the top 10, so that's a little bit frustrating after the just absolute terror we were on early in the season, and now we've been kind of falling off, so that's a little bit frustrating. Our Gordon Henrdrick teammate there, Blaney, all the way down in P35, but Elliott won by just a nose over that 23 of Bubba Wallace. That was a very close finish between them two, and a disappointing finish for us, like I said. But as always, if you guys enjoy enjoyed, you do know what to do. So we have Talladega coming up here in the Truck Series. Going to be very exciting to see what they can do there. And then we have Road America in the Cup Series. So we're going road racing again. Absolutely have to watch out for that 44 of Lewis Hamilton, who's having a great season right now. 7th in the standings, Lewis is. But McLaren picks up their first win on the season. And like I said, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this episode. And of course, would like to thank the Go On Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasseur, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, King Matt XL, Speed Demon 341, as well as Illinois Diecast. I appreciate you guys' support so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.